GMO was GMO was legalized in Kenya in 2022.
Yes.
Before then,
Mhm.
it was already there. Let's not, just because it wasn't legal on paper. Monsanto has been in Kenya since 2016. Their office was right there on Mombasa Road. I used to drive by it every day on my way to Embakasi. Because there's a lot of, if you look at farm towns or farm villages where a lot of food is being grown in large quantities, like large scale, a lot of the farmers in those places have cancer.
After almost 2 decades in this system, because you've been in this for a while, what have you seen in America that makes you believe Kenya may be heading towards the same kind of expensive treatment economy? Christine.
So somebody had mentioned earlier about farmers. If the food is killing farmers to grow it, because there's a lot of, if you look at farm towns or farm villages where a lot of food is being grown in large quantities, like large scale, a lot of the farmers in those places have cancer, right? And if you look here in the US, I can give you an example of Chicago, not Chicago, Indiana farmlands, where they have rural Indiana, where cities, little cities where it was farm towns, are literally wiped out of humans because of cancer, because of mental retardation. Children are born with like different types of what do we call them? Disabilities.
Missing limbs,
Because
sijui
yes,
nini.
yes. So you'll see a lot of those as around farm towns, and that's the first indicator that usually tells us that there's something off. Now, these same practices, I've seen them in Kenya. You hear there's some farmers who are saying they will not touch their own foods. It's not even reported as much as it should be right now, but because things usually take time to come out. But I've seen so many documentaries in Kenya where they focus on the little farm towns where there's a lot of everybody's sick already.
Jeez. Now,
GMO was GMO was legalized in Kenya in 2022.
yes.
Before then, it was already there. Let's not, just because it wasn't legal on paper. Monsanto has been in Kenya since 2016. Their office was right there on Mombasa Road. I used to drive by it every day on my way to Embakasi. Monsanto has been in Kenya since I think 2016. The government told people that Monsanto had left. Monsanto only rebranded. Monsanto did not go anywhere. So that means the dishonesty, the ease with which we know it's easy to corrupt people in our country, in Africa, because of poverty, because of greed, because of, lack of checks and balances, or whatever need people have for money at that time, makes us a high risk for importing this same type of diseases. But the problem is the way we are set up, we cannot afford the same type of treatments.
Wow.
Hatuwezi afford hata tujaribu aje.
Wow. So we are setting ourselves up for failure. So I see here, this is Andujarpaini saying, I feel sorry for Africans of Kenya. The devil is coming and you are welcoming him. Yeah.
So, in fact, I wanted to ask that guy who cooked ugali on the balcony for this other guy, if the ugali was GMOs, did this guy eat brown ugali?
No, wait. You're talking about
Ugali, man.
Ombachi.
Ombachi, yeah.
Bill Gates. Bill Gates alipatia ugali ya GMO ama alipatia ugali ya brown?
Oh, are you saying Bill Gates, he cooked for Bill Gates?
So wait, so Bill Gates went to that balcony?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. I missed that
one. I
Yeah.
stopped at Yemi Alade.
Yeah.
Sidhani Bill Gates ameenda kwa hiyo balcony.
Bill Gates alikuwa kwa hiyo balcony, I think ndio niliblock huyo jamaa nikiona Bill Gates kwa balcony akikula ugali.
Yeah, Agal, send us that link. Send us the link.
No, but Christine, you know what you need to understand is that most people have no idea. Most people just have no idea. And there's an incentive to keep people in the dark. Mika?
Yes.
No, what I wanted to say is this. What most people don't understand and most people don't realize is a lot of government policy that happens in Kenya, normal mwananchi doesn't understand. They don't know. normal mwananchi knows that sisi tunaprovidiwa na mbegu, tunaenda tunapanda, tunakula na maisha inaendelea.
Yep.
That's it. Like there has to be provision of seeds inauzwa, kwa sababu umepatiwa, ukitaka kumake pesa kwa hii mbegu yako, chukua mbegu, uza, ukishapanda mbegu, uza mbegu kwa KGGCU. Alafu like wamepewa corporations za kuuza Kenya all the produces and how to sell them. So that is the bread and butter. That's how they're going to do. They're not going to ask questions. So that is why you feel when this government came in, wakaambiwa sijui there was a fertilizer scandal, there was a this scandal, there was a this scandal, because there was a seed scandal. They were expecting seeds, wakaambiwa hapana, hii seed ikuje, ngojeni sijui seed gani ikuje. So these are deals the government has made kando the back door without people knowing. And that's the issue. The issue is that the normal mwananchi just wants to continue surviving while the government is making deals at the back of them, or at the back of the mwananchi. So we are being sold out by those who are supposed to be protecting us. As Chrissy has said, unfortunately, that free market doesn't benefit the farmers or doesn't benefit the mwananchi who eats that food. It benefits the few who are paid by those corrupt companies to come and dump that poison in Kenya.
Yeah, and I think here is where I would start telling Kenyans to start paying attention more to politics. And when I say pay attention to politics, pay attention to those things that are not in the news. You know, yes. Because Kenyans love entertainment. You know, they love kusikia tirigiji sijui ameenda wapi, akamtukana nani. They love such stuff. But then, you know, like when those things are happening, all these bills, you know, like GMO being made legal, you know, like all these agricultural bills, you know, like that are being passed, you know, like left, right, and center. And even ask yourself, you know, like who is writing these bills and what is it exactly that we can do to be able to put people accountable, because these bills, they usually pass, they're silent because the mainstream media, they like noisy stuff. So those bills, you know, they're usually not noisy, they're very quiet, zinapita, you know, like, and then before people know, it is too late. And then Hanigal Jarid saying, was it Bill Gates or the French I remember the French president on the balcony. You are Bill Gates tutatafuta.
Verify. I think
yes.
From balcony mahali.
Okay. Aya, sawa. I want to remind the listeners you're tuned into the One Mic Show. The number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Things are getting hot in here with Christina Oma telling us things that you know, like you think you know, but you really don't know about the food supply system, and the fact that Kenya is now heading in the direction that America is in. So your mambo ya taking pictures of food, you're in Kenya, that you're eating organic, that may not be the case.